Hey guys, Road Warrior back here again. I recently took another first place here in scores from the bottom on Fishing Planet with a nice 361 points. So I was going to just kind of give you a little updated thing here for the actual comp itself. As you can see there, that was a great score. And congratulations to everybody else in the top 10 on this particular run. I'm going to start out here with the setups as well as the marks here. Now going in here, I've explained this before, guys. There used to be actual little tile squares when you pull up your tablet. However, they changed that, I want to say, probably 7, 8, 9 months ago. And so what you're kind of wanting to do here is to make sure your uniques don't overlap. These are all spaced out for you guys already in the event that you didn't have these marks. Generally speaking, I found most of the time around 316 to 320 feet out, or 96 meters to 102 meters, somewhere in there, in that range. As you can see, I specifically placed these out so none of these overlap. As well as this mark here is just kind of an alternate spot that you can come back to. But the way I set this up is where you can go 1, 2, 3 in those first spots and then simply spawn away following along over here. And then you can just cast from here out to there on this spot. Now you could probably, if you wanted to even try to get an additional mark, you could probably come down here and start that over. But trying to space that out with the actual tile squares is a little more difficult now than it used to be. And by the squares, I mean a certain distance apart so your uniques don't overlap. That does help you out as well. But just kind of reviewing these marks here for you guys in the event that you didn't have them and you're a new player trying to play in scores in the bottom here on Fishing Planet. Just want to make sure you have plenty of marks. You could also probably start there if you wanted and do it in free mode and just trying to, it'd take you a while to get them all placed out. But just, if anything, you can put a mark next to the bank. As far as the setups here, it is the Big Ali. This is the golden version, but that don't matter if you have that or not. But I just an event that you guys wanted to see those. This is just the same thing. You don't have to have a DLC rod to do this, guys, with a big river there. Now you do want some real speed. I did trim a monoliter down to 30 inches or 76 meters, anywhere from 25 to 30 inches for my Imperial friends. As far as hook sizes, a number 2 or number 4 will work for you as well. As you can see, here's this setup. Again, in metric, if anybody needed to see that in metric, 76 centimeters is where I did trim that monoliter down. In the event anybody needed that, again, reiterating, you can just use just a generic rod and reel from the shop. Now, kind of moving here on spot one again, trying to help some of you guys out. For any of you guys that are new to feeder rods and that sort of thing, I do have a feeder rod on my playlist if you need that kind of help. But again, I did clip that out. Every platform's a little different. For PlayStation, it's just click the L1 and R1 or the L2 and R2, depending on what your button mapping is. Also, if you're not getting a bite in this too, it doesn't hurt to tease the bait a little bit here. You'll find that you'll see that blue marker going up. That's just a fish there active. Do not set the hook until you see that clip will go to your max reel, as you can see here. Then set the hook. You don't want to set the hook until that fish is actually bit. Also, you're going to want to note the respawn uniques here on the flounder is 30 minutes. So whenever you catch your first fish here, you're going to note that the time stamp there's, so around 12, 13 minutes, I'm going to have to come back on the respawn. If you're following along, you can go 1, 2, 3. And then spawn down to the other spawn point. That would be 4 uniques, and then come back for a respawn. Maybe 2 if you can catch them quick enough. I do catch my second one quick enough. I do not get it on the second time around there, but I almost could have. I think I ended up getting trophies here, but I just kind of want to show you play out here. No, again, time savers. I know I'm already going to rotate to another spot, so I'm just kind of simply running as I'm catching, if that makes any sense to you. Want not, waste not. A lot of times you'll find some of these scores towards the top, you'll have a guy that might get near you, and I think ultimately my buddy Pedron ended up being right neck and neck with me. So every little second can count in these sort of things. Again, I am playing, also on a side note, I am playing in a Polish room. I've experimented with this, and you guys that look on my competition discussion videos playlist in regards to this, a guy explained this to me a long time ago. For whatever reason, sometimes you might find that you'll have better luck, or your server itself functions better in a different room. I'm not sure why that works, but it just seems to be a thing. It's not 100% foolproof, but in the event that you've played in something and you're just not getting bites, I do have videos up on that. But again, I am playing in a Polish server in this particular run. I found for me in particular, there's several comps on Fishing Planet for, I don't know if it's due to population issues or that sort of thing. But again, right there, make sure that you're not getting off on low tension. But going back to the server changing, that sort of thing, for me in particular, it does get frustrating knowing how to catch something on this game, and then you go into an actual competition and you don't even get bites, even though you know you got the bait parameters, you've got the marks, you've got the hook sizes, you've got everything that you know works, and you just simply don't get bites. But nonetheless, that is what it is. I don't know if it'll ever change. Unfortunately, what I'm trying to just put this up here in the event that if you're getting a good bite rate, you'll know what to do. And where to cast and that sort of thing in the setup. So that will help you out there. Now, ultimately, I cannot help anybody with whatever predetermined factor there is on these things anymore. It is very, very frustrating. Again, you could follow this guide and do great with it, or you could come in here and not even catch a fish, and that's something I can't help you with. I don't know why that's a thing on Fishing Planet competitions. I will do a review video. I'm approaching 3,000 comps played. That is a very, very large sample size, so I do have great experience in these competitions, and I hope at some point they do look at some of these server issues, whether you're getting dead laked. You should be able to catch fish in this. I know that you're not always going to be a winner, and sometimes you might play in these things and get really frustrated where you don't even get bites, but I just wanted to show you again what another winning run looks like, as well as how to rotate it. Now, again, coming back over here from my respawn, sometimes you might find get there a little early even if you want to. Also, you'll find that you'll rotate from spot to spot. Be careful if you get a really good bite rate in this thing that you don't get a unique and just spawn out. If you notice, I came back over here. I was kind of low on my trophy count. So following along, if you get a unique fairly quick, cast back out and try to get maybe 2 or 3 flounder per spot before you rotate. That way you can come back and get more points later, again, maximizing each spot. So if you only get 1 unique from a spot and then you move, you're leaving 12 to 36 points behind, depending on if you catch any fish behind it. So if your spot's active, it doesn't hurt to try to get maybe target 2 to 3 flounder per spot. That does help you on your points. Again, following along, I have had runs in this where I went from spot to spot, kind of over rotated too quickly and didn't get enough points per spot. Even though I was getting quality fish, you still need numbers as well. I'm just kind of walking you through here at the end. As you can see, that was my respawn at spot 1. So that is 5 unique that I've caught. Now, again, I know I kept them in around 4 minutes or so. I got a unique here at spot number 2. It's kind of hard to get 2 respawns just for the time allotment there, because you'll usually have a trophy or something that's left behind. But nonetheless, that is quick points as I'm closing in here. At the end of this, I'm just catching, several fish. But again, you will note that the room itself functioned. I caught the fish that I know how to catch. And then for you guys out there, I would say just to keep trying. I know these things will be frustrated for you, that you'll come in, you'll know exactly what to do. But sometimes it just feels like you got to wait your turn, and eventually, as long as you know what you're doing, how to rotate and that sort of thing, that should help you out. Again, closing down here at the very end. It does help also to turn your rod to the side, in my opinion. Be careful that these flounder will actually spit the hook. I meant to mention that earlier, but be very, very careful. These things will charge you. Again, another great run as I look to the sky here. But anyways, guys, that was a long rant there, so to speak, but I wanted to explain all this out. So their scores from the bottom: 361 points and 18 flounder in 45 minutes. Take care, guys, and we'll see you again in the next one.